Crystal Palace. What, did we forget something?
No, Christopher's right, because the example actually had 2 red meeples in the example that showed us that would be correct scoring the way we did score.
Okay, good. All right, cool. Good. All right, good.
Thanks, Christopher.
All right. All right, so we'll start on that side of the table. What do you guys think of Crystal Palace? And we'll talk about it different player counts at the end, but just in general.
I mean, it's my favorite right now, running of the year.
Okay.
I mean, if it's released in this year, it is my favorite game of the year. Black Angel was there, and I think this is just a little bit higher for me.
Okay. Why?
I think the push and pull that happens while we actually play the game and waiting on each other. I like dice placement games in general, and the fact that we can choose by spending as much as you possibly want to is kind of a great deterrent to being first or second or third. So there's just a lot of things that really hit the mark for me on this game.
You, sir?
It's such a tough game, and I love it for that. Like, it's so, every decision is agonizing. I made several mistakes.
We all did. I think that's pretty clear. Yeah.
But it's like the money is extremely tight, and that's fantastic because you can't. You're so dependent on that. You pick your dice, and then the order that you place matters so much. That you're agonizing over whether you spend an extra buck for a 3 instead of a 2.
To be able to go up earlier, to be able to, yes.
Those decisions are crazy, and they're fantastic. I'm not ready to say it's my favorite of the year yet. I don't know if it will be, because it is the kind of game that is just rough. Also, like, the experience is it's really amazing, but it's also really tough on you.
Also, my favorite game is Gallerus, so that's kind of
okay. All right, fair enough. Go ahead. Let loose.
Yeah. No. So this is, we talk about games that we always use the term of like being splottered out of a game, like splatter games. And I love Food Chain Magnate. And you can die in round 2 of that, but I still enjoy the process of watching that finish out when I'm playing it and get splottered out in the beginning. So rough edges, this is razor sharp edges. You make a mistake and you're dead. Or it's not even just that you make a mistake. Someone else blocks you or resets the block market, and there was really, yes, this was flipped for the beginning, but there was really only one other spot. So maybe I would have been able to get through round 1, which would have been really nice because there was a lot of points there. But regardless, for me, I would be careful who I played this with, because it hurts. It hurts. Taking your turns, you can hurt yourself, and you can annihilate another player. And for certain players, that is not going to be fun. So just be careful who you're inviting to the table for this game, because it's painful and just razor edged. And even for me, who I don't mind take that, I really don't. I play it in other games. This feels really. Yeah, it doesn't feel great for me. I don't feel at the end of playing this game happy to have played it. And so that's weird for me, because I don't mind take that much. But there's something about this in my plays of it that I don't feel better having played the game. But the game itself, the design and the development of it, really well done. The way these work together at different player counts, how the boards interact, and we talked about that, the modular versus these, we need these little different boards because of how it interplays, and that is exceedingly well done at the different player counts. Playing it at 2 players is so different than 3, different than 4, and we haven't played it at 5, but I imagine that again is just different because you have these different options. It's probably even tighter than the 4, because I think most of these there's new boards for those. So yeah, it's still going to open up a little bit on these boards. So I'm impressed with the design of it. I'm impressed with the mechanism that they're using for the paying for those dice pips and how that plays out in the game. And I'm exceedingly impressed with the development of this game. So not an issue where I'm like, the game's not good. The game is tremendous, but it can hurt to play. So
yeah, no, and I spot on. We played it last night, 2 player.
So the J-Rex died.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, J-Rex totally does. That should have flipped in round 1.
We played this 2-player, and I will. Hold on. I'll come back to the player count thing, but one round in, when the three of us played this a few days ago, whatever day it was, and fantastic. I was like, oh, this is so good. Because not only are you cutting your own throat by choosing what value and how much you're willing to pay for your dice, you have to be acutely aware of not only everyone's position currently, but what are their motivations? What are you trying to do? So therefore, not just what am I setting my dice to, but the order in which I place them absolutely can not only impact what you guys do, it can impact what I do. And it is agonizingly
Oh my
delicious.
gosh, you just hit why I have a problem with it. I hate social deduction. This has a huge element of social deduction in it. As far as
Poker
trying
player.
to figure out, I hate it. I don't like people beg me to play One Night Werewolf, whatever. I hate it. I'm so bad.
Worst. I'm the worst at social deduction,
So
but
bad.
I don't have to be a traitor, so it's fine.
No, and I like being a traitor. This is that element of trying to guess where someone else goes, and I prefer a game where I can sit there, math it out, and say, okay, I figured it out, and here's where I want to place, and this is how it's going to work. And even in Gallerist, I can do that. Here, y'all are getting in my way and flipping things, and I'm like, no. And it's so much of that for me, I'm lost, and that's it, because I feel like I understand the game, I get what I'm supposed to be doing, but I can't do it because I never consider y'all making non-optimal moves that might just mess with my game, and that happens all over the place here, and I'm just like, huh?
And see, and those non-optimal moves that you say are...
But they are optimal.
They're predicated on what I think other people are going to be doing.
And then you mess up him, and then he messes up me, and then I mess up Shrey, and we're all like, no, and I can't.
Glory to Rome.
Yep. And that is not a game that I can fathom whatsoever.
And as a poker player, I like that. It's deductive reasoning, right? Of, okay, I see what you have, or even beforehand while I'm setting my dice, it's not just what I have to do, it's, okay, that card I think you're going to go for, so I need to go there earlier, so this is what I anticipate. Like exactly what I did with Derek earlier, thinking, okay, he's not going to go there because he's already there, so I think he's going to do that. And I was wrong. Not always right, but at least you have to consider those things. And to me, this is why I play games. These type of decisions.
Yeah, not me.
I originally got into this hobby to have a replacement for poker.
Yeah.
And this game scratches that itch so damn well. And
that makes so much sense.
It really
now,
does.
Where I don't like poker. Like we just
There you go.
This is a really good dichotomy of who's going to be attracted to this game. And like I said, I am not saying that this is a tremendous game.
No, we heard you.
But it's not
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like because I think this exemplifies that.
Yes.
It certainly does.
So comparing it to Pipeline.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that in a little bit.
You don't want to do that yet. All right.
The player count now. We played this 2-player, and then we played it 3-player, and then obviously you guys just saw 4-player. 2-player can be straight up nasty.
Yep.
It's not just about constricted areas. Obviously, there are less. So it feels about the same as this does. That feel to me, across all 3 player counts, has felt about the same tension of space availability in a game. However, when I'm looking at my dice, I'm considering 3 of y'all. In a 2-player, I'm considering 1. And it's simply, oh, you can't do that. Oh, I'm just going to straight up block you out. And I did that once, and only once. I could have done it more.
On purpose, you did it once, but you did it multiple times.
Right, but I did it, and you can be really nasty in this game at 2-player.
I liked him much less by the time we finished playing the game.
I slept on the couch.
Yeah, it's
No. But yeah, so there is that ability, but you don't have to do that. But I will say in the 2-player game, there's still going to be indirect. No, I'm going, and vice versa. There's going to be that, and you're going to have to adjust for that. But it's just more kind of
So
magnified.
you still like it at 2. You feel
I
like
do,
that adjusts
but I
well.
like it more. I think, again, 1 play at each of the player counts. Keep that in mind. I enjoyed that at 2. This game would not work for the 2 of us.
Yeah, no. This is one of those games, and we've all said it. You have to know who's playing the game.
Right.
Think about who's playing it. If you're playing this with someone who doesn't like Take That, this is not. Don't do this to them.
Right, totally.
And like I said, I like Take That, but for me, I am inept at social deduction. I'm not going to consider you trying to block me for moves, and I don't want to play a game that way. So I won't play it that way.
I don't feel like it's that much Take That because it's more like classic worker placement where you're just really like pushing each other in different ways. Because Take That for me is a real turnoff in a game, but for some reason the social deduction part of this game actually makes me kind of feel like I have an understanding what other people might do.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. You have to have the players that want to play
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never.
I think everything we're saying makes a hell of a lot of sense. Like there is so much reading what people want to do, and on player count, I'll say that I think I enjoyed the 3-player game
Me too.
more because the turns came back faster, and I had 1 fewer person to have to worry about.
You could plan a little bit better, right?
There's a tiny bit more control.
Sure.
I would like to try it again, 2, 3, and 4, to see whether I feel the same way.
Right.
But
I
on
really like
first,
3.
on first play, I think 3 might be the right number for me at least.
Yeah. I'll be honest, haven't played it at 5.
Oh no.
Not really sure I'm jonesing to play it at 5. I will before we review this later on down the road, but I'll be honest, not the game I would choose at 5, probably, is just what my gut is telling me.
So weirdly, as much as I was like, yeah, this isn't the game for me, I actually want to play it at 5 just to see how it plays out.
I'm
because
definitely
I'm
down for that.
so
All right.
intrigued by the design and the development of it I'm like, yeah, no, but I want to see what they did.
Okay.
What did they do with that player count just to see all of those play out? Because again, it's a really good design.
It really is. It's
So good.
And the thing is everything here feels relatively familiar. There's nothing like, wow, that comes out of left field. Wow, I've never seen this. But the aspect of paying for your workers and setting it. When I heard that you set your workers, I'm like, well, that doesn't sound terribly exciting. Oh, wait, until you have to pay for them. And now it's such that simple idea that there might be other games out there that do that, but I'm unfamiliar with it. And I love that about this game, and
felt
for all of the
excited.
reasons.
The reason why the reason why I thought it was like the gem of Gen Con and like
Right.
you're agonizing through the whole game. You're excited through the whole time you're playing.
Yes.
I don't ever feel like I'm just like, oh, phew, all right, maybe when we get income, but other than that, like the
Oh
whole
yeah,
game,
it's tense.
Yeah, it's all the way
and
through.
What Jess said, like, I'm spent.
Yeah.
I am.
Me too.
Every decision.
I am on the edge of my seat the entire game.
Yeah.
Like I watched this action movie and I'm just like, whoa.
Like
Yeah.
I don't even smoke, and I'm like, I need a cigarette afterwards just to chill out, and
I mean, in some worker placement games, there are spaces that you go to. You get something basic, right? You get 3 wood, right?
Right, yeah,
and
sure.
it's just like it's a space, right? Here, all
No.
the spaces are really like even like these spaces, right? These spaces you get.
Or you get nothing.
Yeah, or you get nothing, right?
That's
But-
why,
but, like,
yes, you have these gimme spaces that you could go to that cost you money. So there's no space here that's like an easy, oh, let me just go do the thing. There's nothing. Everyone cuts you.
But like even like the space that just gives you income and VPs, like getting
Yeah.
that income is huge.
oh, that is a massive deal.
Like,
because
Again, I made that mistake.
Yes.
Oof.
That's
and the variability. So talk about that. So you have the okay. So here, grab the patent cards. Those are all the cards we didn't get to.
Oh, and the historical factor of this,
Oh,
and the
and
flavor.
there's the
Oh, I
flavor of
love
all
that.
those.
I
And
love
obviously
his
some
The
of them
illustrations, I mean,
right? So you have all these that we didn't get to.
just the graphic design and how it all ties together. It's gorgeous.
Let me show a couple of the. Obviously, all of this is So all of these are double-sided. Of that,
Yeah.
and then the different player counts, right? Well, and you saw the backside, the black.
I saw the
market.
backside of that. But so these are going to get tighter as you go
Right.
down, and then open up. So I want to see, is this 5 on the other side or 3? There's the 5. So
There's one extra,
3, 4.
one
Yep.
extra. on
Opens up
each.
a little more,
Right.
but costs you money.
And there are those
That's
tiles.
so
There's
good.
some of those that we didn't get to.
And the way that these interact together, that's amazing because you can try to get the same things, but is it even going to come up? You're betting on it. Maybe it doesn't even come out.
Right.
It's such
Or somebody else takes it and you're like, no.
There's like four
the
press the luck
decision,
elements in
like,
here.
These you don't pay for
Yeah.
immediately, but these you do.
Yeah.
It seems so simple, but that's
Yeah.
a huge
in the
decision.
order in which they resolve.
It
Right.
makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, it really does.
And they were talking about, I mean, when you first said that we were going to go around clockwise, despite the fact that, you know, we paid less or what have you, that seemed weird to me. It played
Right.
out fine and kind of gave a little bonus to sitting next to the person who is paying
Going
more.
heavy on dice.
But
yeah.
I'm not sure about that either. I want to say something about what Adam said here, though.
Yeah, all right.
Adam?
So hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Talking about the turn order,
Sure.
right? And that kind of this feels weird. This is the one big, not negative, but the thing that kind of had us talking about earlier, and you as well, about like what you're talking about. I paid to go first every turn.
Yeah.
And sometimes Derek, or except for the first round,
Derek
you and
got
I,
one.
right?
Yeah, I got lucky.
You got the tiebreaker, so I went third, even though I paid first place money.
Right.
So then, because I had all my dice,
Yeah, we
Jess
understand.
benefited.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
So-
yeah.
I think it would be
No.
confusing if they did have a variable turn track based on cost.
I don't think so. I think that makes
We
sense.
play a lot of games that do that.
Because-
but what I want to say here,
Go.
you know, so what was said was that what if we just house ruled it? And Adam said, I hate house rules. I'm going to tell you what Daryl Andrews, who has designed a lot of games, would tell you about this. That rule was came decided on by a designer or maybe even just one developer. There is nothing wrong with house rules.
Nothing wrong.
You can absolutely make house rules. You know, that came up during a process, and if that one change is going to make a game more enjoyable for your game group, no designer and no developer is going to tell you, oh, we designed it this way because it's perfect. No. There may be a change that you can make that is better for your game group, and any designer and any developer will tell you the same. So don't say, no house rules, it should be perfect. No, because they can't make it perfect for every single person ever.
And to piggyback on what Jess said, we don't know the reason why that was decided.
Right.
It could be something as simple as we didn't want the complexity thrown in there to
Yep.
confuse people.
Yes.
That could be the reason. We don't know. So
It could
If
be
that doesn't
confusing.
bother
Right.
you, then it is
Then
something
absolutely.
that you should do.
And honestly, I would prefer that.
I would prefer it
because
also.
if you're going to pay for it, so let's say it were Shrey and I. If I ended up with the tiebreaker, that means he goes last and paid the same amount. That seems punitive
Yes.
and arbitrary.
Correct.
So I think that if I were to say one real legit, now that we're talking it out, negative, it would be that.
Yeah.
The second thing that feels arbitrary, and I don't understand why, is the random loans, whether they're 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah.
That seems goofy. Like, just pick a number and that's what they are.
Agreed. That should
Because
just be a thing.
why? That doesn't make sense to me.
But we don't like randomness. If
Right,
you want a
fair
little
enough.
bit of randomness added into
and
your
it's
game,
a small gap,
then sure.
right? I mean, it's 8, 9, 10, but still, it just feels arbitrary.
The other thing that I'm not sure if it's a negative, but it is something to consider. Is that we go through 15 5 rounds,
20
cards,
maybe a couple more.
maybe a few
Right.
more. There were some cards we don't see,
Right.
And those you might never see the card that
Yeah,
that
that you
matches
need.
up with the
Right.
one with the people that you get. So that's the other thing. I don't think that's as big of a deal because you probably see enough of the cards that you will see some synergy and you can take the opportunity to get it. But you know it's something else that people might get frustrated about. Just
Right.
sort of like, I got this card on turn 1 and the
never
corresponding
came
one
out.
never came out.
Or for you, it came out and was like
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
and I can't get it. And
well, Derek got it.
Derek gets it.
That was
Yeah.
funny.
Okay, so Chuck, to double back what Jess was saying, how would you say this game compares to Pipeline? I mean,
Oh, I have
it's
thoughts.
hard. Okay,
Yeah.
go, take it.
So we just figured out the social
Yep.
deduction piece, and I struggle mightily with Pipeline and still want to play it because same thing. So for me, I can see a very good correlation between the two because it's another game where there is social deduction about where somebody's going to go as far as the pipe availability.
Okay.
I need that pipe. Do I wait for that pipe? Do I take the move to take that now? Oh no, they opened up the other government section. I can't get that. Now I have to go over here. So there's that same interplay with other players that I struggle with. Honestly, I struggle with guessing what another player is going to do and when that mightily impacts what is going to be available to me. So that's probably another reason I struggle with Pipeline. And yet, similarly, I want to play Pipeline all the time. It hurts me. I don't do well. I send Qbert language, if anybody knows what that is, to Ryan Courtney saying, "Why did you?" But I still enjoy playing it. So for me, it's similar in that way.
Okay. They're both hard. They're both tough. They're both punishing in the ways I like a game
Right.
to be punishing.
Brain
right?
burning.
I struggle very hard in Pipeline, as you guys saw in the last playthrough. Spatial stuff I just suck at. Like, my brain doesn't work that way. Whereas this, it very much does. So outside of that and kind of that deductive reasoning, I see the similarity there, and they're both hard. And obviously that plays quicker as well, just by design. The way there's 18 turns, and they can go boom, 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 boom. Whereas this is, the more players, the longer it's going to take because there's more downtime for figuring out your dice and then placing them. But I don't feel like this overstayed its welcome at any point, though. So
Honestly, I was getting, even for where I was and where I was struggling, it ended at the right time for me.
Okay.
Like, if it had gone another round, probably not. So I think the 5 rounds is actually really well done. Yes, exactly, Qbert.
and Dawson says the synergy issues seem by design in that you don't get a lot of them. That's true.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
be prepared and
There's-
ready to grab
there's
if
like-
they come out.
Yeah.
4 press your luck elements in the game itself, baked in everything else
Right.
that you're kind of just trying to.
And the other thing is, regarding the synergy question and the randomness of does this card come out? Well, if it comes out, you want it bad enough, set it to a 6. Guarantee yourself getting it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't.
Pay for it. If it's that important to you, those 4 points.
The rest of the game, there's not anything really that random. I mean, that
No, there's
really,
very
yeah,
minor
no.
randomness,
Yeah.
and like you said, you can mitigate
It's more
that.
variability
Yeah,
than
the
randomness.
loans, that might be something I would house through also. Like, I might just get rid of
That feels arbitrary, and I like the
A little bit, but I kind of liked, for me, when I was grabbing a loan, I hope I get an 8, I hope I get an 8. It's
Sure,
like whammy.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, and it could be a benefit, but it's minor.
It is small.
But
And
it's kind of exciting. I kind of, and
I don't
you're,
mind that.
it's not exciting getting a loan,
My
so
only-
maybe it gives you that little, but at least it's an 8. Like, so I didn't hate that at all.
And,
I don't think I would
I
get
got
that
a
out.
-8.
Yay!
so, did
You got
I-
another
47?
We
patron?
got one, yep.
All
So
right.
cheers,
Yay.
Josh. Welcome.
Welcome, Josh.
Yep.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Josh.
That
I don't have
actually
any
went
more
the
water.
wrong way. Hold
Don't
on.
do that.
I don't have any
There.
water.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait to see. And,
Josh.
and
All right.
speaking of that, everybody who joins is going to get to join the herd in Slack, which is my favorite part of
It's
the community.
fantastic.
It is really good.
Absolutely amazing. It is so well worth it. You're going to get the patron-only streams, but to be in Slack and see these conversations and really hear from the herd what they think of games like this is they get to play them because they have access at game day if they're local, or just playing them, at cons they go to. And yeah, it's an amazing community. So well worth it.
So there you go.
Okay,
so
so
there you go. That's Crystal Palace. Remember, everything that you saw here is prototype. It's a nice prototype, but it's still prototype. This is supposed to be coming out later this year from Vierland Spiele overseas and Capstone Games local. I'm still really.
And I
smitten
want to
with
play it
this
again.
game.
So as much as I was like, not for me, but all right, let's play it at 5 players.
Yes. So there you go. Thank you, everybody here
Thank you
for
guys
doing
for
this,
watching.
for spending Friday. Thank you, everybody, for watching live. That was enjoyable. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed
It's
it,
a lot
even
of
with
fun.
our
It's
But,
okay. It was
yeah,
one spot.
I had a blast. And, I get away with unoccasionally winning. So there's that. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. It helps us with the visibility of the show. It helps you guys being a subscriber in that you guys get notified when you hit the bell, but also it actually shows up in your recommended videos. So if you guys enjoy this, be sure to do that. And as Jess was alluding to,
Pledge HC. It's so worth it.
it's actually right there below me, pledgehc.com. You can support the show there. Yeah, this worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this lived up to my hope that it was going to be good.
And it helped Austin in his recovery, so.
Well, there you go. All right, hey, mission accomplished.
Only reason we're doing this.
Right.
Yeah. With 3 plays,
Thanks for
I'm still
joining.
just as smitten as I was.
Same here, and I'm stoked for this. So there you go. We'll be back. What is today? Today's Friday. We have game day on Sunday, and then we'll be back Monday with the weekly look ahead. We've covered a lot of the Gen Con games, so we get to go with some older stuff, but also some upcoming stuff from Board and Dice, Ion Game Design, and more from Capstone in the upcoming weeks as well. So, and Rio Grande for that matter as well.
A lot of early looks. So you want to see things first,
Some
early.
nice stuff coming down.
Know what you want.
And
before it
patrons
comes
hear
out.
about it before anybody else, because
That is
why
true.
shouldn't they, right? So there you go. Thanks, everybody. We're going to call it a night, get some food, have some nachos. You guys have a good night.
Good night.
I'm Edward.
I'm Jess.
I'm Derek.
I'm Shrey.
All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everybody. Good night.